when virtue fails and power wins. We've all asked ourselves the question at some point, why do cruel, arrogant, or unethical people seem to rise to power, earn wealth, and influence the world, while those with good intentions struggle? It feels unfair, even paradoxical. But what if our discomfort with this reality stems from a misunderstanding of how power, morality, and success actually work? This is where Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most controversial yet profound philosophers of the 19th century, offers sharp insights. Nietzsche challenged the very foundations of Western morality. He didn't believe in universal truths or fixed ideas of good and evil. Instead, he argued that our values were shaped by history, resentment, and the need for control. His work uncovers the hidden mechanisms that govern success, not through virtue or fairness, but through strength, willpower, and strategic thinking. By understanding Nietzsche's ideas, we can stop asking why the worst people succeed and start asking what kind of world rewards them, and what that says about us. In this essay, we'll explore 7 key lessons from Nietzsche that reveal the deeper truths behind power, morality, and influence. These ideas aren't comfortable, but they are illuminating, and once we understand them, we can begin to navigate the world with clearer eyes and perhaps more agency. The uncomfortable truth about success. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but the truth is that success is often not about being good. It's about being powerful, decisive, and relentless. Nietzsche argued that morality, as most people understand it, was never designed to help individuals rise or thrive. Instead, it was created to maintain order and keep power in check. That means those who operate outside these moral expectations can sometimes win more easily. What we consider bad behavior, ruthlessness, manipulation, dominance, may be viewed negatively on a personal level, but these traits can be highly effective in environments that reward control, ambition, and fearlessness. Nietzsche doesn't argue that this is how things should be, but he insists that this is how things are. The people who succeed are often those willing to break norms, ignore guilt, and prioritize their goals above all else. This lesson encourages us to look beyond appearances. Maybe we judge people as bad not because they're truly evil, but because they've succeeded where we couldn't, because they defy the moral rules that hold us back. Master versus slave morality. Nietzsche's concept of master morality and slave morality explains why bad people can look like winners in society. Master morality is rooted in self-definition, strength, and creativity. It's the morality of the strong, those who define their own values and pursue excellence. In contrast, slave morality is born from the weak, the oppressed, and the resentful. It values humility, compassion, and meekness, not because these are superior traits, but because they serve as coping mechanisms in a world dominated by power. Those who live by slave morality judge the powerful as evil, simply because they are powerful. Meanwhile, those who embody master morality don't feel bound by external moral codes. They act with self-confidence and authority, setting their own standards. In today's world, successful people, especially in politics, business, and media, often exhibit traits aligned with master morality: boldness, control, and a refusal to apologize. This doesn't mean we should reject compassion or empathy, but it does mean we must recognize that the moral lens through which we judge others is not universal. It's historical, psychological, and even political. The will to power. According to Nietzsche, all living beings are driven by a fundamental instinct, the will to power. This isn't just a desire for survival or happiness, it's the drive to grow, to assert control, and to shape one's environment. For Nietzsche, life is not about comfort. It's about striving, competing, and conquering challenges. Successful individuals often demonstrate a stronger will to power than others. They pursue their ambitions relentlessly, take risks without hesitation, and adapt quickly to shifting environments. Where others hesitate or seek permission, they act. This isn't a matter of luck. It's a matter of internal drive and the refusal to be passive. The will to power also explains why some people break rules or manipulate systems. They're not doing it for fun. They're acting out the most primal human instinct, to rise above, to be more, to influence the world. Nietzsche doesn't condone corruption, but he does force us to question whether our discomfort with ambition and dominance is a symptom of our own repression. The illusion of truth. Nietzsche was suspicious of truth, not in the sense that he thought facts were meaningless, but because he believed truth is often shaped by those in power. What society calls truth is usually the result of repetition, persuasion, and control, not objective reality. In Nietzsche's words, truths are illusions which we have forgotten are illusions. In this light, those who succeed are often those who create truth, rather than simply obey it. They are skilled at controlling narratives, shaping perceptions, and making people believe what benefits them. This is why the most successful people are sometimes seen as inauthentic or manipulative. They understand that perception is reality. Rather than passively accept established truths, Nietzsche challenges us to ask, who benefits from this version of reality? And who controls the narrative? If truth is something that can be crafted, then those who rise to the top are often those who do the crafting best. Moral guilt as a tool of control. One of Nietzsche's most groundbreaking ideas is that guilt isn't just a feeling, it's a tool of social control. He argued that religion and morality were used historically to make people feel ashamed of their instincts, desires, and ambitions. Guilt became a way to keep people obedient and self-restrained, weakening their ability to act freely and powerfully. This idea helps explain why those who don't feel guilt often succeed more easily. When someone acts without shame or remorse, they are free to take bold actions that others avoid. They are less bound by rules, less afraid of judgment, and more willing to do what it takes to win. Nietzsche's point isn't that guilt is inherently bad, but that it's often misplaced. Instead of feeling guilty for being ambitious or assertive, perhaps we should question whether those feelings are socially programmed. What would it mean to pursue power without shame, and to do so ethically but fearlessly? Resentment and the moral backlash. Nietzsche believed that much of modern morality is rooted in resentment, a suppressed anger of the weak toward the strong. When people are unable to express power directly, they create moral systems that demonize those who do have power. Over time, this becomes a cultural backlash, where success is seen as suspect, and power is labeled as evil. This resentment often hides in plain sight. We praise humility but secretly envy the confident. We cheer for the underdog but obsess over the powerful. Nietzsche forces us to confront this contradiction. Are our values truly about fairness, or are they emotional responses to power we wish we had? Understanding resentment helps explain why bad people are often judged more harshly than their actions deserve. Their success provokes something deeper than moral judgment. It provokes envy, fear, and self-reflection. Nietzsche urges us to move beyond resentment and claim power in our own way, without shame or self-deception, creating your own values. If Nietzsche had one ultimate message, it was this: Create your own values. Don't blindly accept the morality you've inherited from religion, tradition, or society. Instead, define your own path, based on strength, self-awareness, and authenticity. He called this person the Übermensch, the overman, or the one who transcends conventional morality. The worst people succeed, Nietzsche might argue, because they have already begun doing this. They live by their own rules. The danger, of course, is when these rules harm others. But the solution isn't to retreat into weakness. It's to build better values from a place of strength. Nietzsche believed we could do this, but only if we were willing to abandon comfort and embrace truth, even when it's difficult. This lesson is perhaps the most empowering. It reminds us that we don't have to be victims of the system or imitators of the ruthless. We can be creators. We can define success on our own terms, not by rejecting power, but by aligning it with our deepest principles. Seeing through the illusion of good versus bad, Nietzsche didn't set out to justify cruelty or to encourage evil. His goal was much more unsettling: to peel back the illusions of modern morality and reveal the raw mechanics of human behavior. The idea that bad people win isn't just a complaint, it's a clue that our system of values might be out of sync with the realities of power, truth, and success. In understanding Nietzsche's philosophy, we begin to see that the people we label as the worst may simply be the most effective at surviving in a system built on illusion. And rather than despair, Nietzsche invites us to wake up, to stop judging, start thinking, and begin living with purpose, strength, and clarity. Because in a world where power shapes truth, and morality is a moving target, perhaps the real question isn't why the worst people succeed, but how we can succeed without becoming the worst.